Conversations with coaches continue. We welcome back, already a Hokie fan favorite, to the Berg and back home, assistant coach J.C. Price. J.C., first and foremost, on behalf of Hokie Nation, welcome home. Congrats. How gratifying has it been getting back here to Blacksburg, and how did that process all unfold with Coach Fuente?
It was really exciting. You know, I've been gone for 17 years, and everybody asked me, how is it? I said, well, it feels like I've been here yesterday. If yesterday was 17 years ago. It went, with Coach Fuente, it was, when Daryl had a chance to leave, I kind of got wind of it and just expressed my, desire to come back home and coach in Blacksburg, and thank goodness it worked out.
Your wife, Jenny, of course, one of the leading scorers all-time, women's basketball history here at Virginia Tech. I imagine it didn't take too long to get her on board coming back to Blacksburg?
No, the whole family was quite excited. I don't think it didn't take anything to get her on board or my two daughters. They have 5 members. They've all been here before, and anytime we had a chance to get back, whether it was for a women's basketball game or a football game or even a men's basketball game, if the schedule cooperated, we've made trips back.
For people that don't know, you come back by way of Marshall, where you had a ton of success, including last year. Your defense leads the nation, allowing 13 points per game. How were you able to pull that off in a pandemic year with all the other trials and tribulations that there were?
It was a challenge. The kids bought in what we were selling, and the main thing was just handling the COVID day-to-day process as far as masks and spraying things down and keeping distance. And our protocols in place obviously work, and our kids adhere to it. And even off the field, the guys did a good job of staying away from each other. And those are important things to try to get your team to the finish line.
You come back, replace Daryl Tapp, of course, another fan favorite within Hokie Nation, a guy that has big feet and big shoes, therefore to fill, and a lot of energy. What's the J.C. Price style of recruiting and coaching in terms of personality?
I would think that I like to bring some energy with it. I'm a very vocal guy. I like to make sure the guys hear me. Whether they're doing it right, but also they're going to hear me if they do it wrong. So I think it's a thing where you got to make sure the guys know you care about them and develop relationships. And those are the same relationships you try to foster in recruiting. Recruiting for me is more of a grind. I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna try to outwork you. I'm not very flashy. I'm not exactly flamboyant in my personality. So I'm gonna grind you out, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna make it hard for you to tell me no.
So we're not going to have the return of the muscle car and the minivan, which is what we had with Tapp and Tierley.
No, I think TNT's dead.
TNT's dead. We got a whole new swagger and style with J.C. Price. Of course, Bill Tierley, though, is still here. And when anybody asks me about Bill, I say he's interesting and he's awesome. What have your conversations been like with Bill thus far? How do you see that chemistry working?
I think we'll be a good give and take. Me and Bill have a lot of similarities in our philosophies, and obviously he has great knowledge of football and D-line play coming from his background and his history. And I like to think that I've coached for 17 years and have learned from some good coaches. Todd Grantham, Mean Joe Green was my D-line coach when I was with the Cardinals, and so I try to mix those guys' techniques into my own creative style, and now I get to join Bill, and I think we will form up and create a product that everybody's going to like to see.
So much of recruiting, and I'm not saying anything you don't know, is relationships. You, of course, have really strong ones in this region, and with your time at Marshall and Virginia Tech, some of your other previous stops, how natural will it be for you to sell the program that you played for?
Well, I told my wife the first day that Coach Fuente told me I had the job, and I was just how much passion I hear myself talking with, and I think you can see it in someone's eyes when you truly believe that this is the best school in the country, this is the best college town in the country, and you want to explain to these kids on why it drew you here. And I think there's a little bit more passion going to be involved than with the other schools I recruited in.
You're one of 7 now alums that are on this staff for Coach Fuente, one of whom you played with. That's Pearson Perello. What do you remember fondly about P Squared, as I call him, as a teammate, and now that he's a member of the staff?
Well, obviously, Pilo was a great player for the Hokies. He played as a true freshman my senior year, which I tell him all the time it was only because we had a lot of injuries. That's the only reason. But obviously, he was a great player, went on to have a great career in the NFL, and I think he's a real asset to have with the players around and be able to explain his experiences to the guys and relate to the young men that we have on the team.
A couple of other guys, members of that defensive staff, including the guy that runs it, Justin Hamilton now, Jack Tyler, just named linebackers coach. You guys all share the bond of having played for Bud Foster, who's become a good friend now in retirement. He's looking for activities, and we'll get into that later. But what would you say in terms of Bud Foster's impact on you as a man, as a player, and those other guys too?
I think the thing Bud did was he did a great job of blending being tough on you and hugging you up at the same time. And I think that's what this place is about. This place is about toughness, but it's also about caring and showing a love for your brother and your love for your teammate. And that's what he kind of fostered as a coach. And I think that you can already see an instant camaraderie within our staff. I mean, I walked in, I've been accepted with open arms, and we've hit the ground running, and it's just exciting.
Well, like I said, the infrastructure has changed, quite a bit since you were a GA here back in the early portion of the previous decade. But when you hear grit, hard hat mentality, that sounds like a natural fit to J.C. Price.
Yeah, I believe that's just saying, a little bit different. It's, a different way to say the word toughness, in which, I think toughness is a trait that every player needs. This game is still built on toughness, and toughness being that, what I'm doing is more important than how I feel, because you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. And when you think of a hard hat, I think of my dad and how he worked construction, and you have to go to work every day. You have to wake up, get in a routine of waking up and putting in a good, honest, hard day's work. And I think that's what Coach Fuente and those guys have built here.
Your Twitter avatar, JC, is an iconic photo from the 1995 Sugar Bowl against Texas, you holding the lunch pail. Coach Beamer has pointed to that game many, many times, talking to people about a turning point in growth for this program. What do you remember about that game and then the celebration in New Orleans?
Well, the thing I most remember was I was the last one in the locker room. I just didn't want to take my uniform off. I think everybody was gone except for Lester Carlton at the time, who was the equipment manager. And I actually had my wife and my wife Jen. She was in the locker room with me, and so was my mom. And they were trying to talk me into getting undressed and go down to Bourbon Street, because I just did not want to take the uniform off. And the main thing I remember is the fact that we thought we were going to win the game. We thought we deserved it. We thought we were better than they were, and I think the biggest part of it was when the seniors, we all met, and I became, I don't know why it was me, but I was the one who spoke to the team. I was chosen by my other teammates, and we still had two or three more nights that we were allowed to go out, because we were there for a full week. And the seniors, we all decided, what, we're here to win the game. We're not here to party. And we shut everything off. There was no more drinking, no more going out, and you could celebrate after the game, but we were there to win the game, and I think that's what I remember the most.
Well, JC, again, on behalf of Hokie Nation, so excited that you and your family soon will be back in Blacksburg, and again, a member of this Hokies team. Thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to continuing and having more of those celebrations in the years to come.
Thanks for having me.